A new discovery by scientists in Europa changes everything. Scientists began searching for indications of life on other planets and stars in the galaxy decades ago by sending spacecraft and sophisticated telescopes into space. In the meantime, there is no conclusive proof that aliens exist. According to recent research, experts believe that Europa, one of Jupiter's 16 moons, is the most likely location for any extraterrestrial life. Evidence suggests that behind Europa's icy veneer lies an ocean of liquid water, which is needed for all living species. But there is an occasion in Europa, and does it have any living organisms in its freezing waters? As we begin our explorations of Jupiter's ice moons, Europa, please join us to discuss the latest findings. Jupiter's smallest and sixth closest to the planet moon, Europa, is smaller than Earth's moon and orbits Jupiter in the same plane as its 4 Galilean moons. In addition to its silicate rock core, Europa likely has an iron-nickel core. With a fragile atmosphere essentially made up of oxygen, it is crackled and streaked surface, although there aren't too many craters. Jupiter's moon Europa may have subsurface saltwater lakes that scientists say might be good places to look for indications of life beyond our planet. Scientists determined that the vast parallel ridges spanning hundreds of kilometers on Europa were strikingly comparable to surface patterns discovered on the Greenland ice sheet, providing evidence for shallow lakes beneath the frozen surface of the Jovian moon. Greenland's ice sheet has a ridge engraved into it that scientists believe may be a clue that Jupiter's ice-covered moon Europa harbors water reservoirs under the surface. One of the most likely places in the solar system for microbial life. A block of 15-mile thick ice covering covers the surface of Europa, one of Jupiter's 4 primary moons, which scientists believe has an ocean beneath it. But there may be scientific promises closer to the icy moon's surface. The ice crust of Greenland is latticed with so-called double ridges, pairs of long parallel raised lines with a wheel in between as long as hundreds of miles or kilometers long, according to a new study that found similar processes shaping the surface of the distant moon and Earth's own icy Greenland. Scientists have never figured out how these twin ridges arise on the moon's surface, defined by crisscrossing lines. According to a recent examination of satellite photographs, Greenland's ice sheet developed a nearly comparable ridge around 10 years ago. First time on Earth, we've witnessed such an anomaly. Researching what lies under the Greenland Double Ridge Mountains of Relay Kohlberg, a graduate student at Stanford University in the study's principal author Kohlberg and his colleagues suggested that the subsurface water seeping up through fissures in the surface ice of Europa and then refreezing creates the double ridges that may be found there. This might be a sign that Europa has a lot more going on for it than simply a profound hit idea. The ice on the Jovian moon may also contain pockets of water that are just below the surface. Greenland geophysicist and ice sheet expert Kohlberg was immediately reminded of an image captured in photos of the planet's northern hemisphere. Europa's 2 twin ridges, scientists indeed changed their measurement to take into consideration the different gravity. It's proper that the geometry of Greenland's double ridge is comparable to that of Europa's, since scientists can use radar to breach the ice's wheel in Greenland, but radar scans in Greenland show water that had welded below the double ridge. Foreign double ridges are thought to be caused by upwelling water. The ice may be split and allowed water to flow into the gap, but this water quickly refreezes under the pressure from the whole process, which causes 2 distinct ridges to be developed on top of it when a pool of water forms inside the ice. For all we know, packets of water may have been lurking beneath the moon's surface for much of its existence, assuming a proposed explanation is right about Europa's double-ridged surface. Someone must be refilling the water pockets if this is going on. Now, because of the recent formation of Greenland's double ridge, it isn't as valuable as a comparison as it formerly was. Researchers believe that an abnormally warm summer in 2012 melted enough water to form an underground pocket under this ridge. However, this is very little melted water on the surface of Europa. There are other theories about where this additional water is coming from. Kohlberg and his colleagues believe it lies tens of miles or kilometers below the surface, It informs us, at the very least, that there is a lot of cycling maybe between the subterranean ocean and the near top, where scientists anticipate seeing a global ocean. Because of this, future expeditions to Jupiter's moon might search for these water pockets. Researchers like Kohlberg are excited about NASA's Europa Clipper mission, which will launch in 2024 and contain ice-piercing radar, precisely like the sword researchers used to peek under Greenland. Now, what would it dignify if researchers were able to discover an ocean under Europa's cold surface? According to experts, Greenland's ice-covered waters are home to various organisms, including shrimps, jellyfish, and snails. Based on this, scientists believe that there may be life lurking under Europe's thin ice cover. According to Dr. Gregor Steinberg of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, it has taken more than 20 years for scientists to see something comparable to what happens on Earth with these twin ridges of Europa. It was stated that we are attempting to comprehend the physics and dynamics of the frozen continent. So how do scientists intend to get to the bottom of Europa's ice layers and uncover the truth? As one of the most promising places in our solar system to look for evidence of life, it has been reported that NASA engineers have been working hard at creating robots and rovers that might investigate the frozen moon Europa. NASA engineer Andy Klett told McDonald in 2020 that the agency is now testing a robot that will examine the region where ice and water mix, which is the most plausible location for life. Microbes and algae tend to employ photosynthesis and attach to the ice's underside, shielding them from the air currents that clash. On the other hand, despite the lack of light in Europe, many bacteria will still be able to find their home there. According to Kohlberg, the search for life will be much simpler if expeditions don't have to travel through 30 kilometers of ice. If we are attempting to find it using scientific imaging or access our sample, shallow water makes it an easier target. Clutch's rover, on the other hand, will not be operational for at least another decade. Several more trips to Europe are being considered at this time. There will be 2 missions launched in 2024, one to research Europa and one that will examine Ganem Callisto, Io, and Europa simultaneously, both of which will have observational campaigns that overlap each other. Galileo data have already confirmed the presence of an underground lake on Europa. Experts believe that many more lakes may be hidden under the ice shell. The ice-penetrating radar on board the Europa Clipper spacecraft is precisely the instrument utilized in Greenland to analyze the double ridge. Therefore, the Clipper mission will provide some intriguing data for looking for these kinds of phenomena. As a result, if we ever discover life in Europa, it may be in the form of bacteria or possibly something more complicated. We might reasonably expect to find a wide variety of life forms across our galaxy and the cosmos, if it can be shown at 2 separate locations around a single star that life can arise without all the required elements. That is everything for today's video. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon for more amazing videos about space. Thank you for watching.